Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Sports, and today we're going to be doing a best of Springbok's 2024 team. Basically the concept is if we were to play the World Cup final tomorrow, for example, based on the performances we saw from the players used this year, what would our 23 look like? And very interested to see how people might tweak and change the side. And there's a lot of familiar faces in it, and it might not be the younger side, for example, but I think a lot of players proved this year that they're still very much in the mix and still very much good enough to be part of the squad moving forward. And yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one to see next year, for example, which of these players will continue to be used, for example, where other players might start to come through. And you'll see in this side, there are 3 or 4 players who have really taken their chances and put themselves, I think, firmly into the mix for the box in the next sort of World Cup cycle. And next week, by the way, we're going to be doing a ranking. On Monday, we're going to be doing rating all the forwards between 1 and 10 for the year, as well as in the backs on Tuesday, as well as building a 2027 World Cup sort of squad and seeing what that squad and that final team could look like. So still lots of Springbok content to come your way. Before we look at the team, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. This is what I've gone with, and I want to know what you would change down in the comments below. In the front row, I think this is very settled. I've gone with Oxenchair, Bongi Mnambi, and Frans Malherbe. It is the solidity. It is, one of the best front rows in the world, if not the best front row in the world. I do think that Bongi Mnambi had a very strong season this season. I think he continues to be the better starter, inverted commas, between himself and Malcolm Marx in terms of who brings a better impact on. Oxenchair, best loosehead in the world, I think should have been part of that World Player of the Year nominations. And then the solidity of Frans Malherbe. The lock combination was interesting because we've seen lots of lock combinations. We've seen even Etzebeth locking down with Arcus Neyman, for example. We've seen Sam Murat coming in. We've seen Ruan Nokia getting opportunities. I thought Ruan Nokia was probably very unlucky not to get into the side. If he had played the end of year tour, might have given himself a better sort of a chance. And we also saw Pieter-Steph du Toit deputizing and playing at lock throughout the year. So it was a bit of an issue at position at lock because we didn't have Loet Diago for the entire year. Jean Klein, for example, didn't actually feature at all. We had injuries to Arcus Neyman, injuries to Franco Mostert. So that was a position we were tested in. I've gone with Eben Etzebeth and Franco Mostert. I think Franco Mostert, very good, very lucky against Ireland. Maybe didn't need to play as much this year, but I think that what we saw from him in the latter stages of the Autumn Nations Series, the game against Wales, for example, kind of reaffirmed that I think he is still at that level. And again, the problem over here was I think Ruan Nokia played about 3 games in the number 5 jersey, maybe 4. We had Franco Mostert who played about 3-4 games. You had Pieter-Steph du Toit played a couple of games in there. Arcus Neyman started there. So it was a position that changed hands. And I think Arcus Neyman was probably the best top 2 locks this year. Obviously, probably had a much better season than Franco Mostert, but I like him coming off the bench. The back row, Siya Kolisi, Pieter-Steph du Toit, Jasper Wiese. I don't think there's any arguments there. Siya Kolisi continues to be really, really strong, getting a whole completely different sort of role, really, in the kind of bit of a new look side. Pieter-Steph du Toit, best player in the world, as announced on the weekend. And then Jasper Wiese, I think, was the number 8 that really took his chance. Evan Lewis had a couple of games. We saw Cameron Hahn come off the bench, for example. We saw Ulrich Lowe packing down there a couple of times. We saw Quagga Smith start there. But Jasper Wiese, for me, continues to be the best option. Interesting enough, I think that Faf de Klerk, for me, would still probably start tomorrow. I thought that Kobus Reinach had a better end-of-year tour, but I thought that he didn't have the best sort of rugby championship. Jaden Hendrickson has had sort of up and down games, but he was very good against Argentina. Struggled against Scotland, was much better against Wales. You've got Grant Williams, who is probably the best performing drum half. He had a sort of solid game against England, but again, I think continues to be better as an impact player when the players are a little bit more tired and the likes of that. And I've gone with Sashfami Gomezulu at 10 because I thought he was fantastic again in the Rugby Championship, and I think he brings a whole new dimension to this box side. And the nice thing is, with the ability for him to play 10, 12, 15, you can then have Andre Pollard on the bench. So it gives you a really nice options there. The rest of the backline for me is pretty straightforward. Kurt Lawrence, Cheslin Colby, Damien Delendi, Jesse Creel, and a fullback. One of the players who really took his chance this year was Apelele Fassi. And I think that we've now really got an option, alongside Damian Williamson moving forward. I think Quan Horn will get into the mix as well. So I'm not too worried about fullback. Billy Roo, I think, will still play a couple of games next year, get to his 100. But Apele Fassi took his opportunity with both hands, and he's put himself permanently, I think, into the mix for the foreseeable future. David Vincent's going to have to work hard to get back that 15 jersey. I think he does get it back when he gets back. But to keep it, I think, he's going to have to make sure he puts in some big performances. Then off the bench, Malcolm Marx, the obvious candidate at hooker. We didn't really see that many options. We saw Jan Hendrik Wessels, for example. I think he'll continue to progress. We saw Johan Krobbelar as well. I've got Thomas du Toit, and I'll tell you what. I think Gerard Steenekamp had a strong start to the season. He had a couple of nice cameos against Ireland. Very big fan. Don Human likes him, for example. But I thought that as the year went on, I kind of felt like he didn't really manage to impact the game as much. And I was actually really impressed with when Thomas du Toit got his chances. Never really let the side down. And I really like the versatility that he brings. Can scrum it loose, he can scrum it tight head. Was really good, I thought, at the end of the tour. He scored a try. I thought really took his chance. And so it's a bit of a toying cost between the two of them. I've got Thomas du Toit there. I think he will be the next tight head option after either Francois Maheu or Vincent Koch moves on. And I've gone with Vincent Koch there. I had a really, really good cameo against England a couple of weeks ago. Still sort of comes on with this sort of Superman aura and is really good. And then I've gone with Archer Stamen, Albert Lowe, and Quokka Smith, which basically became the bomb squad bench towards the end of the season. And credit to Albert Lowe, who wasn't even in the mix in the Irish series. He's really managed to take his chance, and I think that he would right now with the squads and stuff we've been used, get himself into an opportunity in that if we were to play a metaphoric Rugby World Cup final. And Quokka Smith, as we've seen him starting games where he maybe might not be as effective, but off the bench continues to provide a lot of impact, lots of very important turnovers, and lots of high energy. And then I love Grant Williams and Andre Pollard. I think it's actually a really nice 23, to be honest. I think it brings you a nice balance of good players to get going, and then lots of impact off the bench. Malcolm Marx, strong impact player. Vincent Koch, strong impact player. Archer Snyman, Albert Lowe, Quokka Smith, strong impact player. Grant Williams, very strong impact player. And Andre Pollard, nice calming presence towards the end of the game. So that's kind of what I've gone with. Obviously, players, when they're back from injury, they can come back into the mix. Damien Willemse, Luat Diaga comes back into that mix. And, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of sort of fit in. So exciting times, really, for the box. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. What changes would you make? Please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.